Hey everyone. So, this is different, isn't it? 6 months ago, I was in a conference room with glass walls, staring at my third Zoom call of the morning. Today, I'm sitting on what used to be my anxiety. Bare ground, cold air, and absolute quiet. I'm Sarah. I'm 52. And I walked away from a 28-year career in software engineering. Not because I was fired, not because I couldn't keep up, but because I finally asked myself a question I'd been avoiding for years. Is this actually my life, or am I just living someone else's idea of success? Let me take you back to the moment everything shifted. It was 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. I was debugging code for a feature release, and my manager slacked me. Can you hop on real quick? That quick call lasted 90 minutes. When I finally closed my laptop, I realized I hadn't eaten dinner. Again. I looked around my apartment, expensive, empty, decorated by someone on Pinterest. I couldn't remember the last time I'd cooked a real meal. The last time I'd called a friend just to talk. The last time I felt present. The tech industry loves to talk about work-life balance, but here's the truth nobody says out loud. There is no balance when your worth is measured in velocity points and sprint commitments. I wasn't burned out from one bad job. I was burned out from a culture that convinced me that working 60-hour weeks was passionate. Taking vacation was not being a team player. My value decreased every year I got older, and that rest was something I'd earn after one more promotion. That promotion never felt close enough. So here's what made me quit. I got a clean bill of health at my annual checkup, and I felt disappointed. Because some dark part of me thought, if something was wrong, at least I'd have permission to stop. That's when I knew. I didn't need permission. I needed to give it to myself. Now, I'm not going to romanticize this. Leaving wasn't some Instagram-worthy leap of faith. It was terrifying. I had questions spinning in my head. What do I do without my identity as an engineer? What if I'm making the biggest mistake of my life? What if I run out of money? What if I'm just bored? Here's what I did. I gave myself a runway. I calculated expenses, paid off debt, and saved aggressively for 18 months. I didn't quit in a blaze of glory. I quit methodically. I researched rural properties, visited a dozen small towns, and finally found this place. 5 acres, a drafty farmhouse that needed work, and more quiet than I'd heard in decades. The first month? Brutal. I woke up at 6 a.m. out of habit, reached for my phone, and nothing. No emails, no stand-ups, no fires to put out. I actually cried because I felt purposeless. But then something shifted. I started noticing things. The way the light hits the field in the morning, the sound of wind through the trees, how good coffee tastes when you're not drinking it between meetings. I started building things with my hands, fixing the porch, planting a garden, learning to bake bread. Not because I had to, because I wanted to. And here's the thing nobody tells you. Productivity doesn't disappear when you leave corporate life. It just redirects to things that actually matter to you. So what does my life look like now? I wake up when my body wants to wake up, usually around 7. I make coffee and sit outside, even when it's cold. I'm learning to be comfortable with stillness. I do some freelance consulting on my terms, maybe 15 hours a week. It pays enough, and I get to pick projects I actually care about. The rest of my time, I'm restoring this property. I'm learning carpentry, gardening, canning. I'm reading books that have nothing to do with tech. I joined a local volunteer fire department training program. I'm taking a pottery class in town. Am I making six figures anymore? No. Am I happier? Profoundly, yes. Here's what I've gained. Time. I own my schedule now. Energy. I'm not constantly depleted. Connection. I know my neighbors' names. We help each other. Purpose. It's not tied to a performance review anymore. Do I miss parts of tech? Absolutely. I miss solving complex problems. I miss some of my colleagues. I miss the intellectual stimulation. But I don't miss the culture. I don't miss the anxiety. And I don't miss wondering if I'm wasting my one life in back-to-back meetings. Okay, so if you're watching this and thinking about making a change, whether it's leaving tech, switching careers, or just redefining what success means, here's my advice. Number 1, you don't have to burn it all down. You don't have to move to a farm. Start small. Set boundaries. Take real lunch breaks. Use your vacation days. Experiment with what brings you joy. Number 2, financial stability is freedom. I couldn't have done this without savings. If you're thinking about a major life change, build your runway first. Pay off debt, cut expenses, give yourself options. Number 3, your identity is not your job title. This was the hardest lesson. I spent 28 years being Sarah the engineer. Learning to be just Sarah felt like losing myself. But it wasn't loss, it was rediscovery. Number 4, boredom is underrated. Our culture treats boredom like failure, but boredom is where creativity lives. It's where you figure out what you actually want, not what you're supposed to want. Number 5, you're not too old. At 52, people told me I was starting over. But I'm not starting over. I'm starting differently, with skills, wisdom, and a clear understanding of what I don't want. That's not a disadvantage. It's a superpower. Number 6, community matters more than you think. In tech, I had networks. Here, I have neighbors, people who check on me, who teach me things, who don't care about my LinkedIn profile. That connection is irreplaceable. Number 7, let go of the what ifs. Yes, I could have stayed, climbed higher, made more money, but I would have missed this quiet, this peace, this version of myself I didn't know existed. Look, I'm not here to tell you to quit your job. Maybe you love tech. Maybe you're thriving. That's beautiful. Keep going. But if you're watching this and something in your chest feels tight, if you're tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix, if you keep thinking there has to be more than this, listen to that voice. It's not weakness. It's not failure. It's your life trying to get your attention. You don't need permission to want something different. You just need courage to admit it. I'm Sarah. This is my life now, and I've never been more sure of a decision. Thanks for being here. I'd love to hear your story in the comments.